well, why don't we, since it's supposed to actually be 5 o'clock, call the meeting to order. Did everybody get a chance to look at the minutes ahead of time?
I did. I'll make a motion to approve this.
Hey, I've got one question for, that they can probably find out. Yep, she actually got my comments, so go ahead.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of February 5th.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. Takes care of that. Get the warrants, abatements, and refunds done after. We don't have James Hoyt, so we have the lead and copper survey grant agreement, in which we are giving Tater and Howard a bunch of the state's money.
Yeah.
To do our lead and copper line inventory and replacement plan. So basically what the state gives it to us and then we pass it along, right? We still have to process the.
We still process it and then the state pays them, right? I don't know how it works. I don't wanna know.
I think what is the invoice, we go to them, they give the money to us and then.
Right.
If it's right, but.
When we get up.
But it costs us, it's $42,000 worth of work, it doesn't cost us anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about budget cuts that might be happening for?
Well, this money's supposed to already be set aside. That's what you.
Yeah.
If for some reason the money went away, I think we do owe the balance.
Right, this is the lead and copper, they're not gonna unfund that.
Is that federal money or is that state money?
I wanna say it's federal.
Yeah.
Like the money came down from, they have all the acronyms and I forget the first acronym, but then it went to the, they took it and gave it to the SRF program.
Yeah.
So
So it comes through the state.
right, it came federal, it went to the SRF program in the state and then it gets handed out there. The lead and copper, I believe, it's to the state too, but that's guaranteed. They're on a kick for lead and copper.
Do we need to sign the other one too, or is this just an attachment to that?
I just printed out the other one, I forget why. No, I don't think you have to sign the other one, it's just a lot
No,
of,
it's just all the stuff that goes around.
yeah,
It talks about who, you're the authorized officer
yeah.
managing the project.
Was there ever anything prior to, I think, the early 80s, there was solder for copper pipes, 50/50. Did anything ever come about that? Because
Well, it was banned in,
84, I think.
Right,
Prior to
85.
that, there's a lot of houses that have 50/50 solder.
yeah, and when I test, like, they harp on those 3 years, the 84, 85, 86, or,
With those in there, yeah.
those are the ones they want, but the ones that I've tested with the, the test kits, the older houses test, like, it shows up brilliant, it's not, like, it hasn't worn out, it's still there. Like, I don't know why they don't like older houses, it's there.
Says 1986 EPA lead ban.
Yeah.
But so is that the figure that's coming through the lead services, or just that's in the, it's in
Well,
the solder and it hasn't
Right.
leached up?
So the cities, because it costs so much to do it, they didn't bother to replace that, they have lead lines. This town never really did lead lines. They did the black steel instead, and they didn't even do galvy. I don't think I've ever seen a piece of galvy yet, but they did black iron. So
But how did they make the transition from the black iron to the main? I know in Brockton, I've seen them, they had the galvy that came out of into the street.
Right.
And then they used a 3-foot piece of lead to tie into the main.
Yeah, and but they went through and a lot of them, so either they come off flat teed,
Okay.
or that's why they replaced a lot of mains. They removed all of those goosenecks, like the lead goosenecks.
Use soft copper.
Right.
Yeah.
When they reconnected back up to the steel. You can do it with adapters.
Yeah.
So now you'll just keep on top of James and make sure,
It makes it.
yep.
I mean, we have a lot of work done already, so it's not like we didn't do anything. We pretty much did it.
Yeah.
It's just down to the postcard mailing.
Carrie's ignoring you.
I know.
No, it's going on Monday, I think.
All right.
I had to get the, so we have a postage permit, but, well, the town has a postage permit, and when I called Scott, he didn't really know too much about it, because he had never used it, and I guess the Council on Aging, they used it like one time, like 10 years ago, so it was like restarting the whole thing, and I'd never done anything, so it took a little bit of legwork. So hopefully they're going out Monday, because, and it, people that send out our bills, Consolidated Mail Services, they're the ones that are setting up the postcard. He has everything, all the addresses, and the postcard is just out this week because he has 2 kids, so he's on February vacation with his kids.
World stops.
And then after that, if we don't get a lot of responses, that's when we begin door knocking and doing it the hard way.
Well, hopefully, we'll pick it up and we can get it done
Yeah.
without too much aggravation. Okay. See, old business, still nothing on the appeal. Did we get anything from, well, actually, I think we did get something, no, actually, I think this is for Station 3. Did we get anything from Stations 1, 2, and 4 from Tater and Howard? Or is he that gonna wait till he comes next week?
Well, he did send the,
Or is
and I don't think
the second
that's
paragraph?
probably Manley Street, although it talks, we estimated,
Manly's the top paragraph, but there is a
Yeah.
second one also.
they talk about rating the station,
Okay.
and it's still subject, until we get into it, they won't know.
Yeah.
We could be a strong 2, or we could be a light 3.
Okay, so we're okay if it's a strong 2,
Yeah,
but if it's a 3, you're the only one we have that's licensed for a 3, right?
treatment, yeah.
Treatment.
Is anyone pursuing any more licenses?
They're all going to class. I'm sending anybody that I think will pass the test
Second
to
class.
class. Like, you can't have enough licenses because we've always barely made the minimum requirement. And
No, it's, I mean, we've made it.
yes, we've made
And
it.
if just barely, we've made it, so we don't want to fall afoul of it.
Right. So right now we'll have enough licenses to make it.
How does that work? You get the license first and then you go for the exam, isn't that how the water,
No,
the
you
water board
you
works?
sit for the exam. You don't get the license until you pass that 3-hour exam.
But they do give out licenses, the water board gives out the licenses prior to the.
No. You get OIT, like the first, it goes by time and service, so if you're just freshly hired and you go up and get your license, you're gonna get an operator in training instead of in full. Which really doesn't mean anything, but you don't have it in full because you don't have enough time in the thing they feel your knowledge base. If you have a degree, then you jump forward a lot.
Which means you jump forward without necessarily having ever touched a
Right.
piece of equipment, a chemical feed pump or anything.
Yep.
That never made any sense to me.
Got it.
Yep.
All right. So, but that's in on 1, 2, and 4, so he'll be here at the next meeting.
Yeah.
He did answer your question on the fluorosort media cost
Okay.
from the last one. I don't know if you had that one over
It's just
there.
under $60,000 a vessel to have it redone and hauled away.
Yeah, it's 37.
Not to be refilled though.
No, that's
No,
refill,
that
that's sucking it
includes-
out and disposing of it and refilling it.
Yeah, the cost of the media is about 37.8.
Yeah.
The cost to dispose is 120 per cubic foot, so it's about 21.6. So it's 60,000 each vessel to take it down, get the stuff out, refill it, and get it back up and running.
Okay.
And
Is that
that's,
only 2 years? Is that something that
he
would?
said,
So you're guessing?
his
Right,
guess
2
was
years.
at least 2 years.
Yeah, okay.
Going back reading this stuff. But
60,000.
we'll find out when they actually start running the one through Manly and getting the breakthrough.
Yeah, so it started jumping to Station 3. We have a survey tomorrow. So hopefully she turns around and gives me that so that my next PFAS sample is done with the filter online.
And all that was left was that thing that the cross connection valve thing that I
Right, and
pointed out, and that's been corrected, so
Yeah.
hopefully we can turn that on. I think that's it on those stations. Anything on the replacement well?
We had one blip this morning with that, we haven't come in and reprogrammed it so it ramps down. We had one blip this morning, it was faulted for a phase. I took a picture, I'll ask them about it. I don't know why it phased out. The other drive didn't. But I know Norman Ave lost power Sunday, because I got the call on that one.
No one faced any issue getting it back up.
And Norman Ave didn't come up right. Because we were testing that, it's done being rehabbed, it came back up to 500 gallons a minute. We were under 400 out of it. But this morning the panel wasn't lighting up. The drive worked, but it wasn't, parts of it weren't working.
Matfield Street was out, my house on 80 Matfield was out power yesterday from like 1 to 5.
Yeah, I remember getting called, because that's the only station we have that doesn't have a generator.
Is that why there was discolored water in that area?
It shouldn't have been, because that station was offline anyways. It's
Oh, okay.
because it was being rehabbed. I can't.
Saw some comments that the Matfield area was discolored yesterday.
Yeah, nothing.
got no calls.
We did have this drive, so we would have been running longer out of this because we lost, 180 gallons a minute into the system. So we were down to just Manly, which is running at a reduced rate,
Yeah.
and this one. So it would have ran longer, could have pushed, it would have stirred up
Was
something.
Norman running and then it cut out?
Yeah,
So
and I don't know when it cut out.
But if it cut out, that could have caused it too.
Yeah,
Right, if you have all of a sudden, that thing dropped out and it was drawing a decent amount of water.
yeah.
So you're basically just waiting for answers from them on what happened with the,
Yeah, to see why, I mean, they may not know either. I know, I forget, Station 1 was always phasing out, we had to have but it's a different firm, come in and they reconfigured it, whatever it was, so it wouldn't phase out every time it lost power.
all right, in Walnut Street tank, while they gave us the proposal and he's not here, so,
Right.
Oh, to repair the,
to put the altitude valve, but,
yeah.
so that'll go off till next week, 2 weeks. And you haven't done anything about the little leak?
No, not yet.
Still waiting for the
Yeah,
weather.
as soon as it starts to warm up, I'll rent a lift and go in.
All right, anything on the solar?
Let's see, the last thing that they sent, maximum grant amount is $300,000, and that was basically it. Grants can be up to 50% of the project cost. But the maximum is $300,000. So if you're gonna put up solar panels, it's gonna be a lot more than $300,000.
Well, you'd have to have for them to give you 300 for a
Yeah.
$600,000 job.
Yep,
So,
and it's on a rolling basis, so if they exceed their limit, then you go to the next year. Or the next wave.
I think we had asked Taylor and Howard to look at if there was any ability to do it at the,
I don't remember asking him, we didn't ask him yet,
okay,
but we'll ask him when he comes in.
just to see if there's anything worthwhile adding to it
Right.
while they're over there, when they set the new plan.
Yep.
Okay. Rates and fees.
We took care of that, so that should
Yeah,
probably come
that's
off.
basically,
That comes off.
yep, it's off. Until we have to look at the rates again.
Yeah. Next year.
Another 19 years.
We wish.
Keep trying.
Uh,
Slow increments are better than big hits.
Yes.
I agree.
Okay, anything on rules and regs?
I haven't had time to do that. I did have work on it, but I just haven't had time. I spent the first 6 hours today running around pulling PFAS samples for Tatter and Howard for the wells.
Well, has to be done. And we don't wanna hold them up, because if we hold them up and that thing falls behind, that costs us funding money.
Yep.
So, that kinda has to be something of a priority.
I still think they're looking to move forward with this treatment plant with no PFAS removal.
Well, it's gotta be planned, they have to have it planned for how we're gonna get it in there. If we
Yeah,
don't put it
they-
in right away, like, the funding right now is without PFAS removal for that plant.
Yeah.
So, and that's their scope. To add PFAS, they're gonna want an extra to add, but they gotta at least make sure we have a decent plan for how we're gonna add it, so we're not
Right.
adding it on like the separate building like we
Fair
have to
enough,
do
enough
with
handles,
the
you get to it.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
Yeah.
overbuild the building, leave the space for a couple of vessels or whatever
Yeah.
we have to do. But I'm not surprised if they're not gonna wanna actually design the PFAS into it unless they come back to us for an extra and we can talk to the state, see if they'll give us more money.
Yeah, I don't know, I know that whatever, yeah, we're locked into the 10-7, I've gotta write up an article. I haven't had time to do the capitals yet either.
How is the PFAS level down in this area?
So this, I think the highest was Norman Ave was 6. The rest are like, this was like 3.98 or something, one of the wells, and the other well was lower. I forget, so they were all under, but when they bring it down to 4, then we're a lot closer.
And it's just a matter of what'll end up happening is right after we finish the plant
Oh, yeah.
without PFAS, they're gonna come down and they're gonna knock it down lower.
Yep.
You know what'll happen. That's why it's gotta be planned to be in there, if nothing else. All right, so capital budget, we talked about what you wanted, you just haven't put anything together.
Right, I'm trying to get prices now because I want competitive bids for the trailer. The lawnmower is all set. It's the flatbed trailer and then a utility trailer.
Yeah. Somebody brought up to me a couple weekends ago that they've seen one of the other water departments with a compressor mounted sprayer that they use to spray the hydrants, to get the hydrants painted faster. That's something that would be worthwhile looking into, adding to one of the.
So we usually use Rust-Oleum black for the body.
Yeah.
We use a Rust-Oleum, a commercial one, white for the top, and then we sprinkle things on. Spraying it, it's just cleaning it. They might use it for cleaning. There's all sorts of devices. There's a thing you can drop over it with a bobcat, and it has wire brushes, and I mean, we haven't had any trouble with that. It's just having time to get out and do it. Like, you can't do it in the wintertime when we have availability.
And it's not the painting that holds it up, it's the
Right.
cleaning time.
Right. Well, they're not really dirty. I mean, if you come across a dirty one wire brushing it, they're not that dirty. Like, we haven't had any issues painting the ones that we did paint. It's just having time to go out and do it.
How long does it take once they get out to paint the hydrant? About?
I can't tell because I ended up being yelled at for everything that happened once they started getting painted.
Well, not by me.
I know. So it's not anything I ever want to go back into.
Well, and also we paint different colors, plus we paint the
Right,
caps.
so the fire
depending
department, I
on-
think they're going for a grant this year for you've seen in Bridgewater, they have the reflective things on the ears.
Yeah,
I looked at them, but they're $25 a piece, that's $50,000 to do 2 ears on each hydrant.
What's wrong with painting the ears? Like, we've had it that way forever.
I know, but the reflectives, they do stand out better, like they do light up, that's why we do the reflective on the top.
try to keep people from hitting it.
At least they'll hit it.
The fire department for missing it.
Yeah.
Well, they should know where they are, but at this point.
Well, she's worked up with, I forget his name, but she worked with him to get, the amount of hydrants and the different colors that he'd need. And then when it comes time,
Pieces.
yeah, if he gets the grant, then she'll generate a map for him so he knows where to put them all.
And those are color coded for pressure at all, or that's just reflective?
It'd be by the water main
By the
size.
volume.
Oh,
Yeah.
it will be.
The red, orange,
Right,
green.
yep.
So if you do that, you could get out of painting the caps a different color.
Right,
Just
I
use
wouldn't
those.
mess with the caps at all, but
Yeah.
I
that's
like
what.
the idea of the painted cats, if those reflective devices, they can fall off and break off or something, and then,
Yeah, they can over time. Plastic does get heat baked
Yeah.
and dry out. I mean, I've seen the Bridgewater ones for a long time. I don't know how long it takes for them to dry rot, but even our flags dry rot.
I feel like they get a big donation from Chuckers though for those every year.
Oh, they might, and
Yeah.
Oh,
it's,
and they just replace them on a cycle.
Yeah,
yeah, because they're not cheap. Even the flags we put on are $25 and up. It's not cheap.
well, for the 37 years I was on the fire department, we always went by the color of the ears on the hydrant. I mean, they were always reflective, I mean, the top of the hydrants were, I can remember,
Right.
they were
If
reflective.
you want it, if at night you want it to light up so
Yeah.
you can find it.
Anything else on hydrant painting?
No? Did we hear from Lincoln Street at all?
So they are running the main, yeah, we've been with them. The first hydrant, they showed the hydrants originally across the street. I'm like, I don't really want them across the street. Like, you don't have to do that. So the first one they put in, they put between the main and the street.
That was the email you
Yeah,
sent.
that's the email you saw. So from here on in, they'll go back and fix that one. But they're all inboard now, so that they're on the house side. And they had to relocate one because the homeowner had a rock wall that was falling apart as they began to dig, so they stopped. Which, not a problem, it just moved down 60 feet.
How far are they with the line?
They're almost there, I believe. They move fast, you know, because they have a whole crew digging, a
Yeah.
whole crew filling.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like us where you're doing everything.
Did they want to come in and talk to us at all?
No, not yet. I do have to email him.
Actually, have they had any schedule on when they're gonna be going out into 106?
That's in the
Yeah.
spring still.
That's
And
still-
that's a different company than SLT that's doing the street, I believe. I think that's what I heard.
Okay.
Which I prefer SLT because we know them a little better.
I just don't want them to put down the sidewalk and then want to talk to us about running the line down more.
Right. I'll email them first thing tomorrow or before I leave.
Okay. I mean, I thought they were talking about the sidewalk being at the very end anyway,
As far as construction.
as far as construction.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna be out.
These guys
That-
here, they
That's
don't
way
know
back, who
anything.
knows what they're saying now anyway.
It's Di Bartello that is the money, and
Yeah.
these guys, they're just building a building and,
Doing the site.
yep.
Budget meetings?
The budget meeting is tomorrow at 7:30 and then FinCom the next day, Thursday.
I can be there tomorrow night, I
Yeah.
can't be there Thursday night.
I don't, at this point, it's okay, I don't mind.
I mean, I don't think you need somebody there, but I think it's good for at least one commissioner to be
Yeah.
there.
I have a continuing ed class tomorrow night, so I can make it Thursday night though.
Yeah, if you can make it Thursday, so I have cataract surgery Thursday, so I don't think we're gonna be able to make the meeting Thursday night.
Nah, it's probably good idea to stay home. But if there's more than one of us, we have to,
You have to post it as a meeting.
as a meeting.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't think you do to sit at the meeting.
Right.
I think you can be, because I know I was there when
Yeah,
I
I
was
think-
there.
There's been more than one before,
Yeah.
it's not,
Because it is a meeting, it's an official posted meeting, and we're not voting on anything.
Except the budget.
But we're
Presenting our budget.
But we're not voting on the budget.
no, they are.
So I think it's, you can get around it like that.
I kind of blew it up so I'd be able to read it.
What time's the meeting Thursday night?
Thursday is at 7:40.
And that's FinCom,
Yeah.
So FinCom, okay, FinCom's Thursday, all right.
Yep.
selecting tomorrow. So you're still, obviously still waiting on their numbers for the actual, on the insurance and all that
Yeah, I don't
stuff.
have, I just looked at whatever he had grabbed and then I forget whether I added 15% in or something, just to make sure I covered it.
So we're gonna try to put in a bunch of hydrants.
Well, we try to do about 10 a year.
Yeah. We might as well ask for them. How many hydrants do we have not working right now? You know?
I wanna say there's 3. I know the one at Eastern Union keeps getting hit no matter what we do. Yeah. It's in the field there. It's like right across. We put rocks, we put everything.
Yeah. Yeah, lab, way up. I mean, anything that's way up,
We try it like
your
every.
habits, we have the basis for doing it. I mean, we
Yeah,
get an awful
no, that's
lot.
why I kept looking back to the prior year that I could see what I spent, and it was always more than whatever I had budgeted.
Yeah.
And this has been a bad year, everything's increasing and still increasing.
If we could get rid of KOH, it'd be a nice thing, is that, but it's not like, we have a hell of a lot of options for that.
No, everybody's done away with slaking line.
So overall, the budget's only gone up 5% from fiscal year '24 to our request for '25.
Yeah, we haven't added a lot
So it's
of,
not like it's, I mean, there's some, you know, like hydrants, 408.23%, I mean,
but that's just getting
but,
it
no,
in,
I'm
so it's
just saying,
fair.
Yeah.
I get it, yeah, yeah.
Well, and we'll probably have, you know, the debt and stuff is gonna change in
The
the
debt
coming
is
years,
gonna
but none of that should really hit us this year.
Well, then you get the offsetting of the paint, like the principal down 36%, then you get the Walnut Street tank interest down to 3.57%.
Yeah, that one doesn't move because it's a different kind of loan.
All right, so like I said, I'll show up. If you wanna show up, and sit in the selectmen's meeting and listen to other people's budgets in then a couple of minutes. Oh, you didn't?
You did get one.
Oh, no, you know what? I think I have 2.
Oh.
I'm sorry about that.
Go over line item by line item, we'll be there for an hour and a half.
Yes,
Well-
that's why I don't,
They don't necessarily though. They kinda, usually one will pick something out.
Yeah, okay.
right, they already have key things, but they make me go and it's quick, because I don't, there's not much discussion, you just look at the previous. That's why I have my notes to the side, which somebody couldn't understand those notes, so it took quite a few emails and a couple of phone calls to finally get it across.
I mean, my Board of Health budget, we're in and out in minutes,
Yeah, because
but we're only talking,
your office, like you don't,
we're 5% of this budget.
Yeah.
we spend a lot on a daily basis
Yeah.
trying to keep things moving.
But we actually, the ones I've gone to, it hasn't been all that bad.
It's a lot better now.
They like to keep it moving.
Yeah,
I mean, they don't want it to
because there's
drag
people
on.
behind you, you wanna get it out of the
They
way.
don't want to be there all night either.
Right.
No. Dylan, do we have any communications committee news coming up
We haven't had any meetings since our last meeting, we have a meeting tomorrow,
tomorrow?
at like 4:30.
That should probably get added to the agenda. Under, just so it's a continuing thing, so we'll remember it in case anything comes up. Not that we probably need to vote on much of anything that comes out of that for a while. All right, does anybody have anything else they would like to bring up for tonight? Nothing, Lee?
No, not too quiet.
Dylan?
No?
Motion to adjourn?
Second?
Next meeting,
Next meeting?
March 4th.
March 4th.
Well, it's not a Monday holiday, 1st of March. And James already knows.
Yeah,
It's
he
March
sent me
4th.
an email, it's on vacation this week, I guess.
Okay. All right, motion to adjourn has been made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Nope.
The meeting is adjourned.